Have you ever had the experience of channel surfing one afternoon and all of a sudden you catch upon a movie right in the middle of it and you just start to watch and you try to struggle, you try to understand who are these characters in the scene? Why are they talking? Why is, for example, like why is one character crying? Obviously something else happened. Like, what's going on? And you're struggling because you walked right in the middle of it. And in many ways, reading the Bible could feel that same confusion. And there's crazy names in it, crazy places, crazy situations which the author presumes that you already know about. And we have one such instance today when you go to Mass on this Sunday. The Gospel reading from Mark chapter 1, beginning in verse 14. There's a phrase in there which the author presumes that you already understand. So it's the calling of the first disciples of Jesus. And let me quote it for you. After John's arrest, Jesus appeared in Galilee proclaiming the good news of God. This is the time of fulfillment. The reign of God is at hand. Reform your lives and believe in the gospel. The reign of God is at hand. What does that mean? See, when you look back in the first century and you begin to understand the context of that line begins to make sense. What Jesus is alluding to here is the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. The reign of God is at hand, or in other words, the kingdom of God. You see, Daniel in that book, chapter 2, Daniel prophesizes and he gives a timeline of the coming kingdom of which God will establish. But prior to the coming of God's final kingdom, which would last forever, which nobody could ever destroy, that kingdom would be preceded by 4 other kingdoms. Again, every Jew knew this and were waiting for this in the first century. The first kingdom would have been Babylon. The second, the Persian Empire. The third, the Greek Empire, which was established famously by Alexander the Great. And then the fourth empire, guess what it is? First century, who's the biggest empire on the block, the most powerful empire at that time? You got it, the Roman Emperor. So every Jew knew, because they were under Roman occupation, Babylon, Persia, the Greeks, and then Rome. And they're all waiting for this. So every first century pious Jew understood this. And then now enter Jesus. What does he say? Again, a quote for you. Jesus appears and he says, the time of fulfillment is upon us. The reign of God is at hand. And at that moment, the first disciples left everything behind and followed him because they knew the long-promised Messiah has arrived. Jesus Christ has established his kingdom. We must follow him now and proclaim the good news to everyone we meet.